Hello, dear children, and welcome back to the class. Dear students, today we are going to learn about the second division, Bryophyta. Bryophyta is also called the amphibians of the plant kingdom. The reason behind this is that they grow in moist soil but need water for reproduction. The structure of the plants are thalloid, multicellular, and autotrophic in nature. It means that they can prepare their own food material. They reproduce by asexual means of reproduction, nothing but the spore formation. The Bryophyta plants are flat, ribbon-like long and without true root, stem and leaves. Dear friends, the Bryophyta does not have the true roots. In place of true roots, root-like structure is present. The root-like structure which is present in the Bryophyta is called rhizoids. In Bryophyta, true stem is not present. Stem-like structure is present. True leaves are not present, but leaves-like structure is present. Bryophyta do not have the specific tissues for conduction of food and water. The examples of Bryophyta are Funaria, Riccia.
Bryophytes. All plants need water and nutrients to survive, but not all plants use the same method to acquire these things. Based on the mechanisms by which water, nutrients, and the products of photosynthesis are transported to their different parts, plants can be labeled as either vascular or non-vascular. Non-vascular plants are the earliest plants without vascular tissues, the special tissues needed for the transportation of water and nutrients. Vascular plants are more advanced, having these specialized vascular tissues. In this session, let's take a more in-depth look at non-vascular plants. Non-vascular plants are sometimes referred to as bryophytes, a general term that includes mosses, liverworts, and hornworts. These plants lack structures such as roots, stems, and leaves that would typically help with water conduction. Mosses belong to phylum Bryophyta. These plants have a thin stem-like shoot with tiny leaf-like structures. Liverworts belong to phylum Hepaticophyta. They have flat leaf-like structures that, in some species, resemble the shape of a liver, which is how they got their name. Hornworts are members of phylum Anthocerophyta, and they have tiny horn-like structures. Some non-vascular plants have hair-like rhizoids, which help to anchor the plant. Because these plants have no vascular tissue, they are unable to retain moisture for long periods. They cannot live without it, so instead they absorb moisture directly through their outer surfaces. This is why you will find mosses in moist and shady areas such as the woods or along creeks and ponds.
Dear children, this is all about the Bryophyta. Let's see the characteristics of Pteridophyta. Actually, the Pteridophyta plants developed well root, stem and leaves. Pteridophyta plants have separate tissues for conduction of food and water. But Pteridophyta plants do not bear the flowers and fruits. Pteridophyta plants can reproduce by asexual means of reproduction, nothing but the spore formation. These spores are present back or posterior surface of their leaves. Examples of Pteridophyta are ferns like Nephrolepis, Selaginella, Lycopodium, etc. The Pteridophyta plants reproduce asexually as well as sexually. Sexually by means of zygote formation and asexually by means of spore formation. Pteridophyta plants have well developed conducting system. This is all about the pteridophyta plants. Dear students, the phanerogams plants have special structures for reproduction. They reproduce the seeds. That's why they are called phanerogams. Phanerogams plants, after the process of reproduction, seeds are formed which contain the embryo and stored food material. This stored food material used for the process of germination. Phanerogams plants are further divided into two divisions, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms, let's see the characteristics of gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are mostly evergreen, perennial and woody. Gymnosperm plants stems are without branches. The leaves form the crown. These plants bear the male and female flowers on different sporophylls of the same plant. Seeds of the gymnospermic plants do not have natural covering. That is, these plants do not form fruits and are called gymnosperms. Gymno itself, nect and sperms means seed. The example of the gymnospermic plants are cycas. Second division, angiosperms. Angiosperm plants bears the flowers as reproductive organs. Flowers develop into fruits and seeds are formed within fruits. These seeds are covered. That's why it is said to be the angiosperms. Angiosperms means, angio means cover and seeds means sperms.
Most plants produce seeds containing an embryo that, when sown, will germinate or grow as a new plant. Usually, these seeds can be found inside a fruit. Based on the seeds and their coverings, we can classify plants within two distinct groups: angiosperms and gymnosperms. In this session, we'll focus on angiosperms. Angiosperms are the plants that bear seeds within a layer of protective tissue. They are also referred to as flowering plants because, unlike gymnosperms, they bear flowers. Their seeds are enclosed within an embryo, which is in turn enclosed inside a flower, the reproductive organ of a plant. This ovary will eventually become a fruit containing the seed. These fleshy fruits help protect the seeds. Fruits help in dispersal of the seeds. Angiosperms have developed specialized structures. Their root systems help to anchor the plant while also absorbing water and nutrients from the soil. Meanwhile, stems and branches support the growing plant or tree as their extensive leaves absorb sunlight and manufacture food through the process of photosynthesis. Flowering plants such as the rose and hibiscus, grain plants such as wheat and maize, and fruit trees such as the coconut and apple are all angiosperms. Angiosperms are the most numerous group within the plant kingdom, with more than 300,000 species and amounting to about 80% of the known living plants.
Angiosperms are further divided into two types on the basis of the seeds. Seeds which have two equal parts are said to be the dicotyledons or dicotyledonous plants. As the seeds cannot be divided into two equal parts, then it is said to be the monocotyledonous seeds or monocotyledonous plant. So dear students, what are the difference between dicotyledonous plant and monocotyledonous plants? Dicotyledonous plants contain the dicotyledonous seed, means two cotyledons are present in a seed. Such plants are categorized as dicotyledonous plant. If single seed or single cotyledon is present in a seed, then such a plant is said to be the monocotyledonous plant. In dicotyledonous plant, The roots are well developed or primary roots are present. In monocotyledonous plants, fibrous root system is present. The stem of dicotyledonous plant is strong, hard. Example is banyan tree. And in the monocotyledonous plant, the stem is hollow like bamboo. False stem is present like banana, and disc-like stem is present like onion. Reticulate venation is present in the dicotyledonous plant, and parallel venation is present in monocotyledonous plant. Tetramerous or pentamerous flowers are present in the dicotyledonous plant, and trimerous flower is present in monocotyledonous plants. So these are the basic difference between the dicot and monocot. I hope so it is clear to you. Dear children, now here we completed the chapter 6